Again, you got to give SMU a lot of credit. Their coaches, their players, Coach Morris, thought they played at a high level, and really when it came down to it, just made more plays than we did. They were the big glaring things after the film. You look at, you talk about explosive plays and turnovers. They won both those battles, and usually when you get beat in both those areas, more times than not, you're going to lose a football game. So they had 11 explosive plays. We had 5, which is below our standards on both sides. And turnovers, we had 1 pick there at them going into the end zone. Our guys made a nice play there, but unfortunately we had 3 picks in the first half, which with those 2 areas, you're not going to win a lot of football games. I think they were overall plus 7.7 on drive starting average, which is another big indicator. Which between 6 and 10, I think if your drive averages, if they beat you on between 6 and 10 yards, you're usually going to get beat at 10 yards, usually around 15 points a game. And so the numbers don't lie. Theirs was 7.7, and we got beat by 13 points. So, overall, I didn't think effort was an issue. I thought our kids fought hard. They battled back. They were, I didn't feel like there was ever a time to where they didn't feel like we were going to make plays and win. We just didn't execute well enough, make enough plays to win. So with that, I'll open it up and get started with any questions.
After watching the film, did that make you feel better or worse about the game?
I never feel good about a loss. The only thing, I'm always disappointed. I'm disappointed that we didn't make enough plays, but I'm not discouraged at all. I would be very discouraged if there was a lot of effort issues or guys not going out there and playing hard. We can fix the other things. So it's not discouraging to me, but I'm just disappointed that we as a staff and as players didn't do what we didn't find a way to win at the end of the day.
Such a big build-up to that game. Do you worry about regrouping at all with this team? Or
can't. I mean, you got a great team coming in. Bethune, I think they were 10-2 last year. Immediately see on film, they have a ton of athletes, big up front, have a lot of quick twitch, and you better rebound pretty quick, because if not, you'll get beat.
Finally got to watch the film, and how do you go about preventing the big plays on defense? Like you said, you had to watch the film after the game. What do you think that needs to go forward?
A couple things. One, we talk about it all the time, and that was one of our keys to victory. We talked about are where your eyes are at, your trust in your technique, and a couple of those big plays. I think the first big run, misfit on a linebacker, didn't wrong arm it. Safety sitting right there, exactly where he's supposed to be, and we just didn't fit it right. So we got 2 in 1 gap, and it creased us. One big play there, I think on the 60, 70-yard touchdown, whatever it was. Corner's eyes are wrong and his leverage is wrong. Just young man mistake. You got to make sure you play the defense and play your technique the way you're coached. There's a reason we coach it that way, and there's a reason why you do it in practice like that. And whatever we do good enough whatever we do in practice, and the way we prepare, that's good enough for game day. And you don't need a freelance out there. Usually when you're out there and you freelance, or you just get distracted for a minute, get your eyes out of the wrong spot or use the wrong technique, you'll get caught. And they caught us on a few of those, and it really hurt us. And the other thing is we got to make and finish competitive plays. I thought there was a couple plays, we got 3rd and 40 something. He basically throws a punt to the end zone, and their guy made a heck of a play and came down with the ball. We have 2 guys sitting there. 2 of our guys had their hands on the ball as well. We got to do a better job of ripping it out. So that's just a competitive play you have to make. He made a heck of a play, and we didn't make a good enough play. And they made a couple catches like that, and we just got to do better job of making those.
Was there anything really concerning about the way SMU was able to kind of get to the second level so easily and have those bigger gains on just normal run plays?
Yeah, that's always a concern. Again, we just got to make sure we play gap sound defense. Everybody has a job to do, and you know those plays that had happened, it was a lot of the times just one person out of their gap. You know, I think we had a pirate stone on one, and our DM didn't try to get long stick to the A gap, so you have an open B gap. So just things like that, we just got to clean up all the way around, and you know, and it's our job as coaches to find ways and put them in position to be successful. So.
Coach, Saturday was your debut as coach, but it was also Ren Baker's debut as athletic director. What's it been like working with him, and how excited are you to have him kind of leading the charge here?
I'm pumped. I think he's a great leader, a great man. I think he'll do an unbelievable job here. You know, he's very passionate, and not only about North Texas and his staff, and he's very passionate about the student athletes, and he's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that they have everything, all the resources they need to be successful. So it's a very exciting time for him to be here, that's for sure. I'm excited about our relationship and getting a chance to move forward and building something special here.
You mentioned the turnout, you know, right after the game. Were you pretty encouraged just by the way the fans came out to support you right off the bat like that?
Yeah, it's encouraging. There's no doubt. Unfortunately, we couldn't make more plays and win the game, but I was excited about the way they brought a lot of energy and came out to support, and we just need to continue to build on that because our student athletes will continue to work hard and we'll continue getting better each and every week.
After watching the film, did you feel like the defensive breakdowns were more a matter of still learning the system and not in the right spot, or was it they were in the right spot, they just didn't execute it?
I didn't think it was a system issue, the learning. I think more than anything, just first game jitters, trying to do too much, trying to do your own things at time. And on defense, offense, special teams, everybody has a job to do, and it just takes one guy to be out of place, to lose focus for one play. And when that happens, sometimes offensively you always have the right reserve to punt. You know, on defense you get mental error, get out of your gap, not playing assignment sound. It ends up being touchdowns. So we just got to be better.
What do you know about Bethune-Cookman? I mean, I know they played that one game, their opener, but that got rained out partway in. I mean, do you know much about these guys at this point?
I have a pretty good feel. You know, I've played against some of those guys in that league when I was at North Carolina A&T. It's a really solid league. There's a lot of great players in that league, and it's very competitive. There's no doubt in my mind when you turn on the tape, their athleticism shows. I think they got great quick twitch up front on the defensive line, big up front. They're sound in their systems, offensively and defensively. Got a quarterback that's pretty athletic, pretty similar to the one we just saw, and we got to do a better job of containing him. Other than that, I thought we did a pretty decent job of pressuring the quarterback, attacking the quarterback. We just didn't make the plays when we got there. We got to tackle him. We got to get him on the ground, and it'll be very similar this week. We got to make sure we contain the quarterback.
How tough is it, or what are you going to do going forward to make sure you can contain a guy like the way Matt Davis was able to get away from a lot of pressure on Saturday?
Got to tackle better. I thought he was pretty special. You know, the way he could move around, and he has a good feel. He feels pressure, and he's slippery. But you got to tackle, and the next thing, you got to have a bunch of guys. When you do miss a tackle, there better be 9, 10 other guys getting there to the ball as well, because you know, he can hurt you running around back there, extend plays. he can get you to break down in coverage by extending it and hit long passes. And I thought he did a heck of a job. I thought he was a really good, he's a good football player.
You mentioned Saturday you thought maybe Alec tried to do a little too much after watching the film. Is that what you thought?
Yeah, a little hesitant at times, late on some throws, but not discouraging. Again, it's not one player. You know, we had plenty of opportunities to make enough plays to be in the game and have a chance to win it. You know, we just didn't make those plays, and it really was all three phases. It wasn't just any player, any side of the ball. It's really all three, and there's a number of different. You know, the more mistakes you have, they start piling on top of each other, and you got to come out of it. And we didn't make enough plays. It wasn't an individual. I didn't think it was either one side of the ball. We had plenty of opportunities to make plays. We just didn't make plays, and us as coaches, I'm never going to put all this on these men. They worked their tails off, and they played hard and had a lot of effort. So I got to look at myself first, making sure we're doing the right things to make sure they're successful. I believe in what we're doing defensively. I believe in what we're doing offensively and special teams. I don't think it's a matter of schematics. We just got to get a good feel on what they're comfortable, what their strengths and weaknesses are. And that's really what it comes down to. Some of it's filling them out, and sometimes you never know until you get live bullets thrown at you and see how people react on the fire. And I thought they reacted well. We just got to make sure we got to put them in good positions, and when we do, they got to make plays. They got to be smart enough to use their technique. They got to make plays as well, so it's on all of us.
Playing an FCS team this week, every year you see it. Some Division I team loses to an FCS team. You see it this year. Last year was, North Texas really got blown out by one. Do you use that as a cautionary tale with these guys, or what?
They shouldn't be looking past it. We shouldn't be looking past anybody. I mean, we got a wake-up call last year. How many have won so far this year? You got Eastern Washington, Northern Iowa, and I think there's another one somewhere in there already. So there's good football. I mean, everywhere. They got great players, and the biggest difference 1AA versus 1A is just the scholarship numbers. But I would imagine we're pretty close to scholarships. So a lot of those games come down to depth, and good football teams maybe get wear down a little bit more because of the lack of depth. Playing a Division I school, that won't be the case here.
Now that Mason has played, we talked about it a little bit on Saturday. You don't want to waste this freshman year. You want to get him some experience. Will you have a schedule? Like, will he play, maybe every third series or whatever you come up with, or is it just going to be the end of the game if you can work him in?
He'll play. I'm not just going to burn his red shirt. He'll play. There's no doubt in my mind. And when he does, I have high expectations that he'll do a great job for us.
Do you have in mind what that schedule's going to be?
I have in mind. It would be unfair for me to really sit here and talk about it right now because I haven't had a chance to, talk to my family about it, and my teammates. And so I have a pretty good idea, but we're going to need them both. I've said that, and that's the reason why I really wasn't worried about pulling his red shirt. One, he was ready. He was excited. He wanted to play, and we'll need them both. I've said that before. I mean, it's a long season, so mentally both those guys got to be ready each and every week, and kind of see how we go from here moving forward. And really, a lot of it still comes down to, we're going to compete. Still have to try to play the best guys, whoever that is. Now, I think both of them, there's no doubt in my mind we can be successful with both of them. So moving forward, kind of see how it goes.
You've mentioned he was one of those guys that just kind of forced himself into the picture. What did he do to exceed your expectations during the fall that, pushed him up to the top of the depth chart?
Talking about Mason? Or?
Yeah.
One, he's it's unbelievable. He doesn't get rattled. He just doesn't. He's very calm. He's poised. He's very confident. He knows the system. He's played in a similar system in high school. So he feels comfortable. And his decision-making has been really good throughout practice. Again, one of the better freshmen I've been around. And a lot of that probably is due to the fact that he played in the system. He already knew a lot of it coming in. And so he just got to continue to develop and grow and get more comfortable as he goes. He will. But he made a lot of plays in camp. I think he was one of those guys that we talked a lot about. And trust me when I tell you, I know there'll be growing pains at times. He's not going to be Tom Brady when he goes out there and plays every week. Young men make mistakes, and it's our jobs again to make sure he's comfortable, put him in the right situations, make sure we don't put too much on him, and that's all of them really. I mean, not just Mace, but same thing with Alec. Got to make sure we do what he's comfortable and what his strengths are as well. So, yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about Mason, but by no means do I think he still has a long way to come. He still has a lot of growing to do. And the thing I love about him, though, he's highly competitive. He wants to be great. And because of that, because of his attitude, there's no doubt in my mind he will be special in the future.
Were you happy with the way he responded when you did throw him out there at the end of the game? I mean, with the way he just immediately marches you down the field like that?
Yeah, I asked him, walked over and asked him if he's ready to go, and his eyes lit up and that smile came on. And there was little doubt in my mind. Once we had that conversation, there was seriously little doubt in my mind that we were not going to go down and score a touchdown. And there was no doubt in his mind as well. So that's just him. I mean, he's done it. He's been through a lot of the scrimmages. He's played with the one group. We've put him under the fire. Our defense does a lot of things. They've done a lot of things, and he's seen a lot of different things. Now, that can be tough on a freshman, but he just doesn't get rattled much. So I was excited to watch him go in there and compete. Again, still have a long way to go. He's still got to get a lot better, and he made some mistakes along with everybody else. But I was excited.
T and Jeff in postgame Saturday both said that there's a different energy level when Mason's in the game. Two questions, I guess. One is, do you see that also? And the second part is that highly unusual for a freshman to energize the group like that?
Well, he has it. There's no doubt in my mind. He has. There's something about him that he does bring that energy, but Alec does as well. Sometimes in a game you just need that spark. You need a change up, and just in that point in the game, needed a change up. So I thought they're all really comfortable with both of them. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that they weren't comfortable with Alec and or Mace. I think at the end of the day, we needed that spark, and Mason brought it towards the end of the game.
How's Alec's confidence at this point?
Well, it's not like Alec was atrocious on a lot of plays. Alec did a lot of good things in the game. He made a few poor decisions that led to some turnovers, but make no mistake about it, there's a lot of people are responsible for. Sometimes it's all on the quarterback. There's twice a running back missed a blitz. You got a free blitzer coming right at you, and we have a bust. receivers not getting open quick enough. Maybe they didn't flatten it off good enough. So a lot of sacks and turnovers. There's so many things that come into it. It's not one group. It's not we gave up 5 sacks. Well, really, I think 3 of them were on the O-line, 2 of them were on running backs. Actually, 2 of them were on the O-line, 2 of them were on the running backs, and 1 of them was on the quarterback. Held the ball too long. So it's not just the quarterback position is what I'm trying to get at. It's not like he was atrocious. He did some really good things. So we just got to get better all the way around. About his confidence, I haven't had a chance to talk to him today. I think he'll be fine. I mean, he's a tough, mature kid. And I'm excited about him. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. I think he has the ability to be really good. We just got to continue to grow into the system and get more comfortable. First game in 4 years.
Well, it seemed like he got a lot better as the game went along. Did you kind of see him maybe settle in a little bit and progress there?
Yeah, I thought he settled in. Early on, we were getting some pressure on us. I thought after a while we wore him down a little bit, and the rush wasn't as I think they kind of wore down a little bit. They didn't have as a good rush later in the second quarter and maybe in the second half. So it's a little easier to get comfortable when people aren't on top of you in that pocket. But, again, overall, I thought at times he was in rhythm, on time, threw great balls, and at times just a little hesitant, to pull the trigger. We missed too many opportunities because we had guys out there coming free that if you hit them, they're probably touchdowns. And that's on everybody, though. It's offensive line making sure we protect them long enough. It's receivers making sure they get there fast enough. It's backs picking up protection, blitzes, and it's not on the quarterback.
You went back and forth with your offensive line the way you lined those guys up. You ended up starting Creighton at center. Did that end up working out the way you hoped it would?
Yeah.
I know Lawler's a really good player, but you give up 3.5 to him, 5 sacks overall. Was there something, I know you said, 2 of them were offensive line-wise. Is there something you need to do to improve there in protection, or is that just a...
Got to improve every day. Got to improve every single day. I mean, you're gonna face good players. We have confidence in our tackles. They need to get their job done. And at times we can take pressure off of them as well, make sure you don't get in some of those long yardage situations to where guys can tee off. We had too many 3rd and longs. We were 2 of 10 on 3rd and long. I think we were 40% for the day. Our goals 48. We were pretty decent other than the debacle on 3rd and 4th down. We didn't get it. Our issues were 2 of 10 on 3rd down, and we're in too many long yardage situations. We got to do a better job on 1st and 2nd down.
3rd down, come back and bite you on defense there a little bit. It seemed like there were times you guys couldn't get off the field, especially in the first 3 quarters.
We couldn't get off the field. They were, I don't know, 57% on 3rd down. I'm not sure. I don't have the exact numbers, but I know at one point in the first half they were 7 of 9. Can't get off the field, and you're not going to be very successful.
Coach, as your upperclassmen defenders get better, do you think that will echo and kind of seep out through the rest of the defense?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch you.
As your upperclassmen defensemen get better, will that make the rest of your defense kind of latch onto that and get better?
Yeah, I mean, they all need to get better. Whether you're a freshman or a senior, I've said it. I don't care if you're a walk-on, if you're a senior, if you're a freshman or a junior. Guys need to be ready to play, and the best guys play, and they all need to get better. We all do. As coaches, we need to get better. So, yeah, I mean, I would assume as those guys get better, we'll all get better.
Brett Davis was able to create a turnover. Is that something that you hope to increase going forward, just more turnovers out of the defense?
Was that Freddie? I think it was.
It was Chad Davis.
Yeah, he got the pick, but Hambone did a great job. First play of his college career. Did a great job. Had his eyes exactly where they needed to be. Did what he was coached to do. Great things happen. Exactly what you're supposed to do, and he was in good position because of it, going over the exact same looks in practice. That's what I mean. Do your job and great things happen. I thought Hambone, I was excited about the way he played. I thought he played extremely physical. He doesn't care. He goes out there and plays. Nothing's too big for him. He loves it. And, I was excited about the way he plays. He played, and that was pretty cool for him on his first play to do that. He'll remember that forever.
Coach, one of the plays that stuck out with me was the 4th and 1 fade on the sideline that got picked off. What was the thought process there? Why not run the ball, try to catch him off guard, or what?
Wasn't a good decision. It was not a good decision. You know, yeah, we got to be able to line up and get a yard. And we had 2 opportunities. Same thing, get your eyes where they're supposed to be on 3rd down. Press it the way you're supposed to press it, you probably score a touchdown. You can drive a dump truck over the right tackle, but again, guys are going to make mistakes. We got to line up and do it again. And we just didn't do it. We made too many mistakes, and that's a poor decision right there. I mean, it is what it is.
So that was just a check at the line of scrimmage there, the 4th and 1.
Yeah, he saw 0 coverage and checked the fade right there. He just tagged a fade to it. So you dial it up, you better hit it. And again, that's coaching as well. We need to make sure he understands all the situations and what we want there in that situation.